This is Willa.
Free radio. It's the radio grill.
And see this little thing right here, Willa? That's called a microphone. And you want to do what?
Again?
She wants to bounce in the bouncy house.
You go
as long
bounce.
as you can take your shoes
You
off.
can take your
to
balloon.
keep your socks on. She is so full of energy and joy. And my wife Melissa and I are so blessed. She has just been a wonderful, wonderful little girl, and just pure joy.
How old is she?
She is 4 years old. I guess she'll be 5 in February. No guesswork, actually. She will be 5 in February. And
I'm glad you know her birthday.
Yes, February 21st. And she's just a wonderful child, and she goes to Ellison Acres preschool, and just learning by leaps and bounds. The things that come out of her mouth are constantly amusing.
Here's some confidence for
Well, you know how that starts. You know how it starts. It's you communicate with her like she's a person and an intelligent human being, and she becomes a viable little soul, and she will go on.
Oh, absolutely,
yes.
absolutely.
And you do it with tremendous amount of love, I can see.
Yeah, well, it doesn't start at the age of 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, or I don't know what this magical date is that people oftentimes say, well, we're waiting to take our child to church, or we're waiting to teach our child right from wrong, I guess. And all too frequently I see children who have they've been put on hold for too long, and then they're going down the wrong path. And you have to do it right away.
I say immediately.
Right,
yeah.
and do it with a great deal of joy.
Yes.
And they don't realize learning any rules. That's just the way you live your life.
Yes.
I can't wait to get one of these conquerors.
They're
so hot right now is what they are.
Better let it cool.
That's right. I've got one. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I was going to say beach.
We have a young man right here, Carol, that wants to donate some money. David Carter.
Wow, David.
How about that?
Hey, David.
And we're very glad. Mr. Carter is also a friend of the Observers.
Oh, he
and,
is?
Yeah, a big supporter of ours through the years. And we sure do appreciate anything that the folks of New Smyrna Beach can do, and Edgewater, Oak Hills, Samsula, and all the surrounding area. I know that we go down across the county line, and so it's good to see Mr. Carter down here.
It comes in quite well in Mims, really.
In
very
Mims,
clearly
yeah,
in Mims,
very important community in our broadcast area, that's for sure.
And he's, how much is he donating, or are we mentioning that? Just a donation. Doesn't matter. Whatever the donation
Hey, Mr.
you'd
Carter,
like,
how you doing,
like
sir?
to give us is absolutely appreciated.
You, and he's got his Gators shirt on today. Go Gators!
Sit down and talk, David, with the folks.
Now, did you actually go to UF, Dave?
No, funny thing is, I was the first non-alumni to ever be president of the local booster organization in the country.
How about that?
And they said, but I was very, very active, and when I came over here from New Zealand, they said, have you ever been to a Gator game? I said, no, what is that? I knew about soccer, and I knew about cricket and all those kind of things. And so one of my board of directors on the JCs in Lakeland said, I've got tickets, you going with me? Well, I didn't know that they had a 100-car caravan left at 8 o'clock every morning. But when I got to Gainesville, this is for me. I like this.
It's quite a thing.
So
I know that I
got very, very active, and eventually I could work my way up the board of directors. And they said, "You're the next president." I said, "Hello." I said, "I thought I was on the nominating committee."
Well, we're awfully glad to have you here today, and I'm glad to see you in your orange and blue. I went to University of Florida
good for you.
After I got out of the Marine Corps. They wanted me to stick around, and I thanked them very much, but I decided that I was going to become a civilian, and they said, what are you going to do with yourself? And I said, well, I have plans on using that wonderful GI Bill, getting a degree from University of Florida, and I stayed close to my dreams and continued on through.
And lived up to your name.
I certainly hope so, more or less. Of course, Robert Burns had far more, at least I understand, he had more children than I'll ever have. I certainly hope.
I don't know how many he had.
Rumor has it somewhere
between his wives.
Yes, I suspect you're right somehow. You know, I know that they liberal with his concepts.
He was somewhat of an eccentric.
Yes, you might say that. He was a very talented writer, though.
Yes,
definitely a gift from God.
You know, you have to realize the writers of today are pretty much the same. Not yourself. I'm talking about Hollywood. We're talking about
I
Hollywood.
wish you had waited till I finished that confritter before lumping me in there. But thank you.
I don't mean to lump you in. But I'm talking about the
right, somewhat libertine ways of Hollywood
yes,
and
of
whatnot.
Hollywood.
Yes.
And now they've gone a step beyond, and with this new 2012 movie.
Yes, they
supposedly
have.
They've totally wiped out the Vatican, wiping out churches.
Well, I was watching
doing all kinds of horrid things.
But no Muslim.
No mosques.
No mosques.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what.
They're too afraid.
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
we were watching the previews at the movie theater when this first was presented. And I finally looked at my wife and I said, why would you be running around? If there are meteorites falling and tornadoes whipping and tsunamiing, there's a point at which you have to just say, I think I'm just going to fall on my knees and say a prayer or two, because to run is not going to help you. It's certainly not.
That's true.
That's right. And if it does come and you're right with God and yourself,
Right.
the Lord, you are going to be happy.
What more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for?
And so I suspect that had it been a truly Christian film, you would see a great many people who would be relatively at ease with the whole thing,
calm, and peaceful.
And knowing that we're headed to a better place. And this, secular world oftentimes beats us over the head with a lot of different messages that you don't even think, but it sneaks in, and it teaches you fear. And Christ was anything but fear.
That's
true. Right.
He brought us joy and peace in the knowledge that there is something beyond here.
That's right.
And that we have to work for it while we're here. But once we get there, we're there.
I've been in a couple of accident situations where it goes to almost beyond where I don't know what, and seriously, I didn't know whether I would live or not. And the paramedics were there when I cut my fingers really bad. I was losing a lot of blood. No, but is she in shock? They were looking. I said, no, I'm absolutely fine. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I'm fine. And the same thing happened in a plane one time that we thought was going to crash. There was an electrical storm. Amazing how nobody panicked. Yeah. Everybody on the plane was.
Were they all Christian?
They must have been, because they were praying. Everybody was. The plane was as silent as you could imagine. No screaming like you see in the movies.
Right.
It was just people sitting in their chairs. Me as well. Just.
You're simply not capable of doing anything.
That's
you
right.
are not there. It's so far beyond your ability to respond that, in fact, through biblical study and through going to church and learning about our life, hope.